Evening. I think I hit the wrong button there a moment ago, so you're very, very welcome. It's Friday, your quizzy quiz for Quizzers quiz. It's Friday evening here. It could be Friday evening where you are. It could be Friday afternoon where you are. You're all very welcome. Get yourselves settled in, and let me know that you can hear me as I excellent. So I'll turn this down. So just give me, hey Aisling, uh, Phoebe, Stephen, hey Paul. So just give me a thumbs up that I'm loud and clear. You should be able to get me on both Facebook Live and on YouTube. The plan is on YouTube that we'll be able to do the interaction comments bit as we do on Facebook. Fingers crossed we'll have that operational next week. So great to have you all back. It's good to have you. So we're Friday quiz for Quizzers quiz. This is more quizzy than Saturday night. This is I was going to say serious, but it's maybe it is a little bit more serious. Is it harder than Saturday? It's different. Saturday evening is a bit more musicy, tuney, but still some quizzy quiz stuff. So hopefully both are good. Both are. We've been doing this for ages. And sure, we'll keep doing it. So what have I got cooked up for you this evening? We've got, and before I start, a big happy birthday shout out to Danielle Convery. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Danielle. I hope you're having a great day. Okay, we've got 4 rounds on our quizzy quiz for Quizzers quiz. We've got hey Roddy, Francis, Rhonda, Edwina. You're all very welcome wherever you're tuning in from. We've got 4 rounds. We've got 3, just a bit of an overview. We've got 3 famous doctors. We've got 3 squares. We've got 4 famous Joneses. We've got 4 rovers. We've got a full round, a full complement of connections this Friday evening, afternoon. We've got 12 pictures, a few flags, few outlines. Yeah, lots of different stuff to look at there. Then we've got 3 places from the original translation. We've got 3, what have I written down here? 3 treaties. Can't even read my own writing. 3 treaties, 3 joints, and 3 years. We'll finish with 3 years. So there you go. A smorgasbord. Just different things from different places. A total, if my dodgy maths are correct, 51 points available. 51 points. So there you go. So we're approaching 9 o'clock. For those of you who've played before, you know the rules. No cheating. You never do that here. And no answers on the feed. Other than that, pens, papers, confair, refair, defair, whatever fair you want to do, it's all good here. It's all good. Just no answers on the feed. That's pretty much it. If you're tuning in for the first time, you're especially welcome. So enjoy. And quizzy quiz for Quizzers quiz begins right now. So we said we were going to do 3 famous doctors. So famous doctor number 1. Which famous doctor, created by Hugo Lofting, was portrayed by Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, and Robert Downey Jr. Your famous doctor number 1, created by Hugh Lofting, and has been portrayed by Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, and Robert Downey Jr. Your famous doctor number 1. Famous doctor. Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. Famous doctor number 2. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was written by whom in 1886? The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was written by whom in 1886? That's your famous doctor number 2. Welcome, Owen, Julie, Kevin, Kathy, Sean. You're all very welcome. And if you're a few moments late, we'll recap on all of round 1. Famous doctor number 3. Dr. Richard Kimball, a physician wrongly convicted of his wife's murder. Name the 60s TV drama and the 90s movie of the same name. The character, Dr. Richard Kimball, a physician wrongly accused of his wife's murder. 60s TV program, for those of you old enough to remember, like me, and a remake movies, 1990s. Dr. Richard Kimball. Name the series and the TV and the movie remake. So that's your 3 famous doctors. Isabel, tuning in from San Diego. Happy afternoon, Isabel. Jean, happy afternoon, Glenravel. Okay, 3 squares, 3 squares, 3 cities. 3 squares, 3 cities. Square number 1, Tiananmen Square, the city. Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen Square, the city. Square number 2, Piazza San Marco. Piazza San Marco. You like that? The city. Piazza San Marco. Square number 3, city number 3, Wenceslas Square. Wenceslas Square, the city. So that's us up to number 6. We had 3 doctors. If you missed any of them, don't worry, we'll do a recap at the end. And 3 squares, 3 cities. So that's you up to number 6. Every question is worth, answered correctly, is worth a point. And now we move on to the Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses. We've got 4 keeping up with the Joneses. Created by Helen Fielding and portrayed by Renée Zellweger. That's your Jones number 1. Created by Helen Fielding and portrayed by Renée Zellweger. That's your Jones number 1. Tricky Jones number 2. Tricky Jones number 2. No Googling here. So this is your Jones number 2. Most Grammy Award nominations of all time. Famous Jones number 2. Quite simply, most Grammy nominations of anyone ever. That's your Famous Jones number 2. How are you getting on with the Joneses? Are you keeping up with them? Jones number 3. Jones number 3. A George Lucas character, Dr. Henry Walton Jones Jr. Give me this Jones number 3, this George Lucas character, Dr. Henry Walton Jones Jr. That's your Famous Jones number 3. And a bonus Joneses, a wee bonus. A metaphor for the bottom of the sea, the state of death among drowned sailors and shipwrecks. Famous Jones number 4. A metaphor for the bottom of the sea, the state of death amongst drowned sailors and shipwrecks. A wee extra Jonesy one for you there. So there's 4 Jones. So that's us up to 10. And I'll recap. Don't worry, Marianne, I think you missed one. So far so good. You're doctors, your Squares and your Joneses. I don't often do football if you're in San Diego, Isabel. Soccer. But I'm doing one now. Rovers. 4 Rovers. 4 professional English football team with Rovers. There's 4 of them, 1 point each, for your 4 English professional football teams called Rovers. We'll do a quick recap in a moment or two, but I'll leave you to mull over your Rovers. Professional football teams called Rovers. Okay, for anybody who missed, and indeed for anybody who didn't, let's recap. We had our famous doctors. Famous doctor number 1, Hugh Lofting, and has been portrayed by Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. Doctor number 2, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Who wrote that in 1886? Richard Kimball, the 60s TV drama and the 90s movie famous Doctor number 3. 3 Squares: Tiananmen, Piazza San Marco, Wenceslas Square, but I'm looking for 3 cities respectively. And then your 4 Joneses, created by Helen Fielding, portrayed by Renée Zellweger as Jones number 1. Jones number 2, the most most Grammy Award nominations, Grammy Award nominations of all time ever, anybody. Jones number 2. Jones number 3, the George Lucas character, Dr. Henry Walton Jones Jr. And the metaphor, the bottom of the sea, the state of death amongst drowned sailors and shipwrecks. And then your 4 Rovers, 4 English professional football teams with Rovers. So there you go. How did you get on? Is that okay? I think there's 14 points available there. Yep. How'd you get on with your doctors and your Squares and your Joneses and your Rovers? Okay, answers to round 1. And at the end of each round, just let me know who you are. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to do that next week. If you're on Facebook Live, just let me know who you are and how well you've done and where you're from. Your doctors, created by Hugh Lofting, Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. Doctor, you knew that, Doolittle. Robert Louis Stevenson, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is Robert Louis Stevenson. Richard Kimball, Doctor, was The Fugitive. Tiananmen Square, you knew that was Beijing. Piazza San Marco, you knew that was Venice. Wenceslas Square, did you know it was Prague? Helen Fielding, Renée Zellweger, famous Jones number 1, Bridget. Most Grammy Award nominations of all time, well done anybody who got the fabulous Quincy Jones. George Lucas character, Dr. Henry Walton Jones Jr., of course that's Indiana Jones, but you knew that. The metaphor, the bottom of the sea, the Davy Jones locker. Your Rovers, Blackburn, you knew. I used to be able to speak. Bristol, maybe. Tranmere, hopefully. Doncaster. So there's your 4 Rovers. So how did you get on out of 14? Just let me know. And after round 1, do you know what? I'll do round 2. Round 2 is your connection, so I'll let you get tidied up and a fresh piece of paper and post up your scores and where you're from. And as I said before, if you're tuning in for the first time, fab. Keep liking and sharing and subscribing, and we'll continue. That's all I ask. There's the deal, and I'll keep doing your quizzy quiz for quizzers and your party quiz, and we even do a kids thing midweek. So all sorts of things going on, and we'll get YouTube fixed next week. Okay, connections. For those of you who've done connections before, and indeed if you're new, I give you 3 bits of information and you have to figure out the connection. Okie dokes. Is there any million pointers in here? By a million points is awarded to a question that I think nobody in their right mind should get. I'm not sure. There's a couple of tricky ones, but sure, I'll let you decide. Connection number 1. What connects the shipping forecast, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Central Criminal Court? Your connection. That's a good one. The shipping forecast, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Central Criminal Court. Connection 1. It's a toughie when I think about it. You need answers from Bridget Jones, YouTube Frozen. From Bridget, sure, William. Bridget Jones, Quincy Jones, Indiana Jones, David Jones Locker, Blackburn, Bristol, Tranmere and Doncaster Rovers. William, hope you're thawed out. You got your first connection? The shipping forecast, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Central Criminal Court. Connection number 2. What connects an Australian rock band that once featured Rod Stewart, a British comedy group, and a snake? An Australian rock band that once featured Rod Stewart, a British comedy group, and a snake. Your connection. Connection 3. What connects a citrus fruit, inorganic materials containing calcium, and a UK famous train station? Your connection between a citrus fruit, inorganic materials containing calcium, and a famous UK train station. Connection number 3. What connects? Connection 4. What connects golf, as in the sport, a Roman legion, and Apollo 11? Your connection between golf, as in the sport, a Roman legion, and Apollo 11. Your connection number 4. Was indeed, Michael. There you go. The things you learn on Quizzy Quiz for Quizzers Quiz. The amount of useless information you gather up is outstanding. What connects Gandalf, Ellen Pompeo, and a neutral colour? Your connection, please, between Gandalf, Ellen Pompeo, and a neutral colour. Connection 5. Are they tricky connections? Are they okay? Are they challenging? Or so there's your 5 of 10. A full course of lovely connections. I'm mad, aren't I? Connection 6. What connects Mark Vincent Sinclair, an Italian clothing company, and a liquid fuel? Your connection, please, between Mark Vincent Sinclair, an Italian clothing company, and a liquid fuel. That's your connection number 6. Pace okay? Don't want to rush you now. We're doing good. It's 16 minutes after 9 and we're doing good. Connection 7. What connects an English footballer, Orson Welles, and a Jason Bourne alias? A Jason Bourne alias, Orson Welles, and an English footballer. Your connection. English footballer, Orson Welles, Jason Bourne alias. Connection 8 of 10. What connects a fictional science character, Shaggy, and Fred Astaire? A fictional science character, Shaggy, and Fred Astaire. Your connection. Maggie, I'll slow down and I'll repeat them. Good. You need to tell me if I'm skipping through the connections too quickly. So the fictional science character, Shaggy, Fred Astaire. And don't worry, Maggie, I'll go through them one by one. Connection number 9. What connects New York Harbour, the national motto of France, and a luxury department store in London's West End? New York Harbour, the national motto of France, and a luxury department store in London's West End is connection number 9. Getting on okay? I'll go through them once again. The New York Harbour, the national motto of France, and a luxury department store in London's West End. Tricky. What connects? It's your final connection, and I'll go through them nice and slowly one by one. Final connection. What connects the American frontier, Batman, and an American rapper? An American rapper, Batman, and the American frontier. Your connection number 10. Okay, one by one, let's recap on your 10 connections. What connects the shipping forecast, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Central Criminal Court? Number 2. Okay, Maggie? What connects an Australian rock band that once featured Rod Stewart, a British comedy group, and a snake is your second connection. Number 3, a citrus fruit, inorganic materials containing calcium, and a famous UK train station. What connects number 3? Interesting connection number 4. Golf, as in golf, the sport. A Roman legion. Apollo 11. A tricky connection number 4. Golf, as in the sport. A Roman legion. And Apollo 11. Number 5. Gandalf, Ellen Pompeo, and a neutral colour. Gandalf, Ellen Pompeo, a neutral colour. 6. What connects Mark Vincent Sinclair, an Italian clothing company, and a liquid fuel? Mark Vincent Sinclair, Italian clothing company, liquid fuel. 7. The English footballer Orson Welles and a Jason Bourne alias, your connection. Number 8. What connects a fictional science character, Shaggy, and Fred Astaire? Connection 9. What connects a New York harbour, the national motto of France, and the luxury department store in London's West End? And your final connection, the American frontier, Batman, and an American rapper. So there you go. There's your 10 connections. I'll give you a few moments. Okie dokie. How did you get on? Was that okay? Was it tricky? Too tricky? Connections are good. You can still get them even if you only know 1 bit. 2 bits, you've got a real chance. 3 bits, you've nailed it. Okay, here we go. Good luck. The shipping forecast, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Central Criminal Court, Bailey, as in George Bailey, as in the Old Bailey. Well done if you got the Bailey connection. The Australian rock band that once featured Rod Stewart, a British comedy group, and a snake. Python, Monty Python, Python Lee Jackson, Python as in the snake. The citrus fruit, inorganic materials containing calcium at a UK train station. Lime Street Station in Liverpool, lime. Golf, a Roman legion. Apollo 11, the eagle has landed. Eagle as in Roman legion, as in a golf shot. Gandalf, Ellen Pompeo, a neutral colour. Meredith Grey, Gandalf the Grey, grey is the colour. Mark Vincent Sinclair, the Italian clothing company, in the liquid fuel. Vin Diesel, diesel. Diesel. 6 and 7 are driving you. I'm sure they're all driving you mad, Michael. The English footballer Orson Welles, Jason Bourne alias. If anybody who knew John Michael, no, wait a minute, whoa, Harry Kane, Citizen Kane, yeah, anybody who, it was right, anybody who knows John Michael Kane as a Jason Bourne alias, give yourself 1,000,000 points. Kane is the connection, as in Harry Kane, as in Citizen Kane. It's hard to get that third one. A fictional science character, Shaggy, Fred Astaire, Shaggy as in Scooby-Doo, Shaggy Rogers, Ginger Rogers, Buck Rogers. He's appeared before under Buck, so he's been useful twice. Rogers. New York Harbour, the national motto of France. Luxury department store, Statue of Liberty, Liberty, Equality, Fraternity, France. Liberty Store, London's West End. Liberty. Well done if you got Liberty. The American Frontier, Batman, the American Rapper, Kanye West, Adam West, old Batman TV, and the Wild West. West is your connection. Okay. Don't be cross. Connections are hard to put together. So let me know how you got on out of 10. So that gives us so far cumulative 24. Team name, where you're from, and your score out of 24. Doing good. Doing good. Good scoring, Billy. Excellent. Maxed out. Super duper. You're smart. You're getting smart at this homeschooling. You'll, by the end of this, you'll know everything there is to know on connections. Okay, round 3. We've got, yeah, what have I got? I've got, well done, Marianne. Lucy, well done. Margaret, super duper. So we've got a few images. As you all know, the biggest benefit of the images is you don't look at me for a few seconds. So we have 3, we'll just do them piece by piece. So 3 flags, 3 countries. So I'll give you a few moments just to tidy up your, well done, Dusty. Super. Deborah. Fandabadozy. Okay. 3 flags, 3 countries. Yeah, in this picture round, there's well, you are quizzers, so there's a couple of challenging ones. Don't be cross with me. Okay, flag number 1, country number 1. You're scoring great. Flag number 2, country number 2. Flag number 3, country number 3. And if you knew the Jason Bourne alias, yeah, Stephen, if you knew that, anybody who knew that, not just for getting Kane, but for knowing the Jason Bourne Kane. Okay, so there was 3 flags, 3 countries. Now we do, interesting, we do 3, we've done islands, we've done countries before. So 3 country outlines. I want the country. 2 are, in my opinion, relatively straightforward, and 1 isn't. Country, please, from the outline. Here you go. Number 4 or outline number 1. Country outline number 2. Image number 5. Good luck. Image number 6. Country outline number 3. Best of luck. Okay, we mix it up a bit here. As you know, we do all sorts of things ranging from rovers to famous works of art. The artist, please. There's 2 of them. Artist number 1. Famous piece of art number 2. Who's responsible? The artist, please. Okay. Some. Yep. The last 9, 10, 11, and 12 are testing your 20th century history. And there are 2 points available for identifying these 2 people. So, 20th century history, who are these 2 folk? 2 points here, image number 9. Image number 10, quite simply from this image, this very famous image, the battle. Okay. Number 11, tricky. 20th century history, a famous event, 3 points if you can identify the 3 participants from this very famous moment. Okay, awesome. Okay, your final image. This will test you. I'll leave it up for a little while. A very famous first. Go for it. Tricky, tricky. Okay, quick fly through. Just quickly, I'll run through them. So, flag number one, country number one. Number two, same. Ditto, number three. Country number one. Country number two. Tricky country number three. Artist number one. Artist number two. '20th century history. These two guys. That was the battle, sorry. And this wonderful moment identify the three individuals. And yeah, tricky. Famous first, but who? Fantastic. Flip me, we've come a long way, haven't we, in the 3 years I've been doing this. So when they work well. Okay, so the answers to your pictures, we had three flags. So did you get Canada, Australia, Turkey? Did you get outlines? Canada again. He couldn't have asked Canada twice. He did. Portugal for the first time. Greece. Greece was tricky. Out of context, you see. Well done if you got Greece. The Last Supper, I was looking for Leonardo da Vinci. The Persistence of Memory. Did you get Salvador Dali? Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. Iwo Jima, the battle, US Marines defeating the Imperial Army in 1945, the Battle of Iwo Jima. Did you get Jimmy Carter? Did you get Anwar Sadat? Or Prime Minister Menachem Begin? So Begin, Carter, Sadat. That was the Camp David Accord in 1970, at 1 point for each of those. And your final flying solo, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, if you got in 1932, Amelia Earhart. Fantastic job. Do you know that that photograph was taken where she landed just outside Derry? Yep, from Newfoundland to Derry. So well done. How did you get on out of 15? Okay, so far. Final round. Number 8. Rory, number 8 was Salvador Dali. And yes, Dusty, it was taken just outside Derry. Okay, so just tidy up your answers. So far, your aggregate would be 39 as we go into our final round. So out of 39, how are you getting on? Your team name and your score? Good. Thank you. Okay, your final round in tonight's quiz for Quizzers quiz. We've got 3 places from their original translation. We've got 3 treaties, 3 joints, and 3 years. So there you go. A nice dessert menu. And your total potential tonight is 51. And tomorrow night you're very welcome to tune in if you like quizzy quiz stuff. And a few tunes. Yep, a few pieces of music to ease us in to Sunday. And thank you. Thank you for sending me all your kind messages. It's very encouraging. Thank you. And like, share, subscribe, all I ask, and I'll keep it all free for now. Okay, places from the original translation. So you have to give me the place from the translation. So there's 3 of them. 3 of them. So place number 1. These are tricky. You have to concentrate. Okay. So place number 1 in North America, translate it from, quite simply, coloured red. Coloured red. The place. Paddy, that's a surprise. Coloured red. The place. Place number 2. Where is this? River of Silver. River of Silver. New Zealand, Australia. Tricky, Eugene. And the way the flag was blowing as well. I think I did that deliberately. River of Silver. Where? Your third place. A capital city. The clue is a capital city. Wisdom. The capital city plays from Wisdom. Coloured red. River of Silver. And a capital city from Wisdom. What's he talking about? If you find out what I'm talking about, you let me know. Okay, so that's your 3 places. Coloured red, River of Silver, and a capital city from Wisdom. Your next set of 3, 4, 5, and 6 are 3 treaties. Treaty number 1. Your clue is the year is 1919. It is the treaty formally ending the First World War. This famous treaty from 1919, the end of World War I. Treaty number 1. Treaty, yep. Well, in fact, plural, comprising 4 treaties, 3 protocols. The convention, please give me the name of this convention that establishes the standards of international law for humanitarian treatment during war. This famous convention comprising 4 treaties, 3 protocols. It is the convention that establishes the standards of international law for humanitarian treatment during wartime. This famous convention. Your final treaty. This treaty was signed on February the 7th, 1992 by members of the European communities to further European integration. This famous treaty, February 7, 1992, by members of the European communities to further European integration, is your treaty number 3. So there's your 3 places from the translation. You'll get them. Just stick in there, don't give up too easy. Trust your instinct. And then your treaties, conventions. And now we have 3 joints. Joint number 1. Are you ready? You ready for your joints? Joint number 1. Humerus, scapula, clavicle. Humerus, scapula, clavicle. Joint number 1. Is that a good joint? Joint number 2. Humerus, radius, ulna. Humerus, radius, ulna. Joint number 2. Joint number 3. Tibia, fibula, talus. Tibia, fibula, talus is your joint number 3. Humerus, scapula, clavicle. Humerus, radius, ulna. Tibia, fibula, talus. Your 3 joints. Yes, Desi. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Human anatomy, I know what you mean. And now we'll finish. We'll finish with 3 years. Tricky, but this will sort you out. You have to identify the years from the pieces of information. Yep. And then we'll do a recap. We'll do a recap and we'll have you in your bed by 10 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock if you're in San Diego. Now you should stay up, Isabel. Stay up. Okay, 3 years. Year number 1. Happy Days debuts. Happy Days debuts. Clue number 1. Clue number 2. Just excuse me, because we've got a wee tune. I know it's Friday night. You'll forgive me. Identify the year. All these things from the 1 year. So Happy Days debuted. This was released. And this won Eurovision. Isabel Perón is sworn in, and Towering Inferno is your top grossing movie. Happy Days debuts. Seven Seas of Rye was released. Waterloo wins the Eurovision. Perón is sworn in, and Towering Inferno is your top grossing movie. Year number 1. Year number 2. Perestroika. Perestroika is initiated by Mikhail Gorbachev. Phantom of the Opera opens on Broadway. The Soviet Union begins its withdrawal from Afghanistan. And this was a hit.
Come over here.
And your top grossing movie in that year was Rain Man. The year, please. Perestroika, Phantom of the Opera opens on Broadway. Soviet Union begins its withdrawal from Afghanistan. In Excess, Need You Tonight. And your top grossing movie, Rain Man, is your year number 2. Year number 3, and your final question in your quiz for Quizzers Quiz. The clues are: Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy, Spotify, thank the Lord, is launched, the Hadron Collider is inaugurated, this was released. And your top grossing movie in this year is Dark Knight. Okay, so 3 years. The problem with years is close. You might as well be a million miles out. You have to be on the money. Happy Days debuts. Seven Seas of Rye, Queen. Waterloo wins the Eurovision. Isabel Perón is sworn in. Towering Inferno is your top grossing movie, is your first year. Your second year, Perestroika is initiated by Gorbachev. Phantom of the Opera opens on Broadway. The Soviet Union begins its withdrawal from Afghanistan. In Excess release Need You Tonight. And your top grossing movie in that particular year was Rain Man. And your final year, Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy. Spotify is launched. The Hadron Collider is inaugurated. Coldplay release Viva La Vida. And Dark Knight is your top grossing movie. 3 years. That fourth round was a tester. Quick recap. The places from the translations. Think about it. Coloured red. River of silver. The city, the capital city, from the word wisdom. 1919, the treaty that ended World War I. The 4 treaties, the 3 protocols, the convention, all about the standards of international law for humanitarianism during wartime. The treaty signed on February 7, 1992 by members of the European communities to further European integration. Your 3 joints: humerus, scapula, clavicle, joint number 1. Humerus, radius, ulna, joint number 2. Tibia, fibula, talus, joint number 3. Your 3 years. Happy Days debuts. Seven Seas of Rye is released. Waterloo wins the Eurovision. Isabel Perón is sworn in. Towering Inferno is your top grossing movie. Year number 2, Perestroika, initiated by Gorbachev. Phantom of the Opera opens on Broadway. The Soviet Union begins its withdrawal from Afghanistan. In Excess release Need You Tonight. And your top grossing movie is Rain Man. Final question, final year. Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy. Spotify is launched. Hadron Collider is inaugurated. Coldplay release Viva La Vida. And Dark Knight is your top grossing movie in that year. Okay. okay. It was a toughish quiz for quizzers. There were a few tricky photographs. The old Amelia Earhart, the old Camp David. That last round, yeah. But look, I'm so confident in you that I raise the bar every week. That's how much I believe in you. Okay, Danielle, behave yourself. Happy birthday. Maybe, well, I won't see you. Maybe you'll tune in tomorrow night on YouTube and Facebook for your party quiz. You're more than welcome. And please like and share and subscribe and all that stuff. It's all free and it's all good. And there's lots coming down the tracks. Coloured Red, place number 1, Colorado. Of course it was. River of Silver, River Plate. The city from the Greek wisdom, Bulgarian capital, Sofia. Well done if you got Sofia. 1919 Treaty of Versailles. The Geneva Convention tells people how to behave during wartime. The Maastricht Treaty, February 1992. But you knew that. Your joints, your humerus, your scapula even, your clavicle is your shoulder, your humerus, your radius, your ulna is your elbow, your tibia, your fibula, and your talus is, of course, your ankle. Your years, did you hit the post or did you hit the back of the net? Happy Days, Seven Seas of Rye, Waterloo, Isabel Perron, Towering Inferno, 1974. At this stage, you either go yes or Perestroika, initiated by Gorbachev. Phantom of the Opera opens on Broadway. Soviet Union begins withdrawing from Afghanistan. Need You Tonight, In Excess. Rain Man is your top grossing movie, 1988. Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. Spotify is launched. Hadron Collider initiated. Viva La Vida Coldplay is released. Dark Knight is your top grossing movie in 2008. Can I repeat the answer to number 2? Of course I can, Andrew. The answer, do whatever you want. River of Silver. River Plate as in Uruguay and Montevideo and the battle. River Plate. So, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and tolerating me. As I say, a bit more quizzy stuff tomorrow night. A few tunes. I'd love to have you. Look after yourself we're coming out of this. But I'm going to keep going, regardless. Hopefully you'll all come out of it nice and well and safely, and look after yourselves, and bless you all, and thank you, and well, you'll see me. Okay. Good night, good afternoon, bye. Take care.